few words.
Thank you very much, Richard. My name is Rees. I've been CEO of AlzheimersAustralia for nearly 10 years, which is why I look so young and happy. We're very lucky in you, Richard, to have somebody with such passion and commitment to raise money for Alzheimer's research. Those of you with long memories will think about the commitment in the last century to polio, HIV/AIDS, heart disease and cancer. I think in this country, as around the world, we've yet to find that same passion and commitment to really tackle dementia. And I think, Richard, you're being an adventurer again in actually doing so much to advocate for that cause, so thank you very much. We know a lot more about Alzheimer's now than we did 20 years ago. Researchers told us what happens in the brain. We know about the changes in terms of plaques and tangles and things that kill brain cells. We know that it develops 20 years or so before a diagnosis, so it's quite wrong to regard cognitive impairment as an older problem. It's a problem really that everybody should be thinking about. Imaging helps us look at the brain, how it develops, and to map dementia in its course. As Richard said, we're all working to one goal, and that is to ensure that we have less people with dementia. We've got a report coming out at the end of this month that I will in confidence tell you one figure in from Access Economics, and that is that there'll be 1.2 million people with dementia by 2050 in Australia, unless we actually find a cure or a way of preventing the condition. Do we have some clues? I'm not a scientist, but looking from the outside, it's actually quite exciting. We know a lot about the amyloid plaques in the brain, and there's about 140 drugs in trial that have the objective of trying to remove that harmful protein so that the brain cells don't die. Colin Masters in Melbourne is one of the leaders in that particular area of research. There's more advanced kinds of research, more scientific fiction, if you like, around stem cells, which are based on neurogenesis and generating cells and new connections between brain cells. So that will be a very interesting course of research. And lastly, we know that if you eat well, if you're mentally active, physically active, socially active, you keep your blood pressure down, you keep your cholesterol levels down, then your chances of dementia are actually reduced. That's not a guarantee, I'm afraid, but it will reduce your chances. So, dementia research is an exciting place to be, Richard. It's a place for an adventurer. It's a place for the best brains in Australia to be. The objective of AlzheimersAustralia research is to attract the best promising emerging researchers to do the research. We give grants to new, younger researchers so that we have the people there as the investment increases to do the research for the future. There's a small publication that you'll be able to take away at the back of this room afterwards, if you like, which actually records some of the wonderful histories of people that we've supported who've made a good career in dementia research and have contributed greatly to the way ahead. I'd just like, in closing, to make one other remark, and that is dementia still has terrible stigma and social isolation. And people like Richard, by talking about dementia, do a world of good. Hazel Hawke is still the only person in public life in Australia to have disclosed her Alzheimer's. One person in the whole of our history to have done that. There are lots of other people, of course, who aren't in public life, who are great advocates for us. But I think it says something about dementia and its stigma that only one person has disclosed their diagnosis. So thank you again, Richard, for all you've done and all you're going to do. You've got a very busy program, I know, over the next little while. I'd like to add my thanks to the residents of Royal Lands for having us here tonight. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.